Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. It is June 10th. Lisa, Lydia, Scott with you here this morning. Lots to talk about this morning between primary election results, breaking overnight, big weather system. First, want to remind you, of course, we're live on Facebook with all your morning news and weather headlines every weekday morning. Love it when you join us live here on Facebook, but it stays on your feed throughout the day, so you can watch it whenever it works best for you, or check it out as a podcast. Go to inform.com/podcast and just look for the Inform Minute.
All right, had some strong storms, of course, moved through last evening and overnight. Not a ton of damage, but there's damage, trees down, branches, and power outages. On my way to work this morning, and you said your way to work, some of the lights weren't working, things like that.
So, it was all of a sudden very dark on I-94. Like I was driving and everything was fine, and then all of a sudden it went dark, and it was one of those like, did my headlights go out?
I was
like
the same thought.
What just happened? And I was like, no, it's the city lights. And then my automatic brights were trying to kick in. It was a very weird. It maybe lasted 30 seconds, but it was a weird 30 seconds. Anyways, the storms delivered. They packed a punch. Had a tornado in northwestern North Dakota, some baseball-sized hail in that direction when everything was singular cells merged together into a line, moved across North Dakota, South Dakota, into Minnesota through the overnight hours. Had gusts anywhere between 50 to 70 miles an hour locally. A little further to our south and to our southeast, 80 plus miles an hour. So some big trees are knocked down this morning. We had the wind. That was the main problem that we dealt with. Had a couple of tornado warnings here and there for those QLCS tornadoes that we talked about. Unconfirmed if anything touched down or any specific damage to rotation, but just some plain old wind with the thunderstorms. We had a gust to 60 in Fargo and only 0.02 of an inch of rain at the station here. So we hardly got any rain, but got a good push of wind. Up north, northern Minnesota, over 1.5 inches in some spots. Grand Forks, a little under 0.5 inch for rain. So there were some good soaking rains. There was a lot of wind, a little bit of hail in spots, but for the most part, it was just a windbag event. All of this moved onto the Minnesota side, quieted down before first news this morning, and now it is long gone. We're just dealing with the cleanup of any of the branches and the trees that are out there. Watch out for some of that for your morning drive. Now getting into the heart of the day, we have a partly cloudy sky. Temperatures up into the 70s by this afternoon. Humidity going backwards. That's one of the first effects I think we'll notice thanks to the cold front. It was sticky.
Yeah, that'll be a welcome.
Yesterday, when it's just like, ugh, the air
very
feels
sweaty.
thick. We did have our first heat advisory of 2026 because our heat indices yesterday afternoon made it into the triple digits. Again, like I said, it was one of those where the atmosphere was just juiced up.
You could feel it.
It was ready to go. Now, this cold front will spark a couple more thunderstorms later today, mainly in the valley and then off to the east into Minnesota. Less organized than what we had last night. We have a level 2 risk in the far east. Fargo, Grand Forks under a level 1 risk. We'll watch for 1 inch hail and 60 mile per hour gusts. So we could blow things around again briefly. It's not like a big line moving through. These are more just like scattered little thunderstorms that develop. Short window of time, noon to about 6 p.m. Then they're out of here. The rest of the evening looks quiet, clear skies. Temperatures fall down to the 50s. With that lack of humidity, we can actually drop off our temperature a little bit better, more into tomorrow morning. Temp tomorrow about 70 degrees. So we're starting to really feel the cooling effects of the cold front. A few scattered thunder showers, but everything non-severe. So that's a sigh of relief from the weather department. Friday, breezy, partly cloudy, temp near 70. We're looking at 60s for the weekend. Kind of, I don't want to say chilly because it's not chilly, but it's different than. It felt like 100 degrees yesterday. So I mean,
big drop.
Yeah, we get some sunshine though, and a June sun angle is nice and warm. So if you're out there in the 60s on Saturday and Sunday afternoon, it's still comfortable to be outside.
All right.
Okay, that's all.
Thanks.
All right, well, we're also tracking breaking news this morning. Of course, big primary election yesterday. We're still getting numbers in, and a lot of them got the numbers in when you went to sleep. We do know now Fargo will have a new mayor for the first time since 2014. North Dakota State Senator Josh Boucher has been elected Fargo's newest mayor. Boucher managed to get just under 47% of the vote. City Commissioner Michelle Turnberg came in second with just under 28% of the vote. And of course, those two were followed by Commissioners Denise Kolpak and David Pepcorn, as well as Saku Sirleaf.
Now, along with that new mayor, 2 new city commissioners have been elected. Chad Peterson and Nikki Gullickson will become Fargo's newest commissioners. Peterson was a former Cass County commissioner. Gullickson is on the Fargo School Board, and she plans to continue in both roles.
And Fargo residents voted to keep the 1% sales tax. It will now run through the year 2048. That tax helps with big projects like streets, wastewater, and flood protection.
And voters across the state were asked to approve Constitutional Measure 1. It would require future ballot measures to be limited to one single subject. The measure looks like it passed with about 2/3 of the vote. It only needed a simple majority.
And of course, there were a lot more races than what we just talked about. You can get the latest numbers, all of those results on our website, inforum.com.
Boston police say a man shot at an apartment complex earlier this week has now died. Officers responded to that complex Monday afternoon. They say TJ Alvarez had been shot and was flown to a Fargo hospital. He died from his injuries on Tuesday morning. Police arrested Corey Burnett Jr. of Boston, who they say is the suspected shooter. Investigators have not said what led to the shooting, and formal charges have yet to be filed.
And this is kind of an unusual story,
Yeah, a little bit.
but Fergus Falls police are investigating the theft of several mattresses from a hotel. They say it happened on Saturday. The hotel actually called dispatch and said a U-Haul pulled up, then 4 people loaded the mattresses into the truck and they took off. The mattresses are valued at about $1,500.
This morning, people in Emerado are being told not to use their tap water after a water main break. The mayor says the water is only safe for flushing toilets, nothing else. He says the water break could be repaired by the end of the day, but even once that's done, the water will still need to be tested to make sure it's safe. They're hoping to have all that done and cleared for drinking water to be done by Thursday sometime.
Game 4 of the NBA Finals is tonight on WDAY. You can watch the Spurs take on the Knicks. Coverage starts at 7 o'clock from New York City.
Today on Hot Mic with Dom Izzo, I'm sure he'll talk about the Knicks and
Yep.
the finals, but Zach McGlynn never thought that the decathlon would be where he'd find his track success. But the Bison Senior is now on the doorstep of an All-American status at the NCAA Championships. He joins Dom to chat about his journey. Plus, the World Cup starts tomorrow across the country. How will the U.S. fare in the expanded soccer tournament? Hot Mic is live from 9 to 11 on WDAY Extra and Inforum.com.
And now it's a great time to get that Inforum.com subscription, your all-access pass to all these news, weather, sports headlines. 99 cents a month for your first 3 months. Just go to Inforum.com/subscribe to check out our deals.
And join us for the rest of our newscast today. Our next one's at 11, then 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. We're back with First News tomorrow morning, 5 to 7.
Have a great day, everyone.